The galaxy was quiet, but tense. Everyone knew now. A human Guardian-class warship, Valor 7, had awakened. It wasn't attacking. It wasn't chasing anyone, but it had started moving, watching, waiting. Alien empires sent warnings to their fleets. Do not enter the Cinder system. Do not scan the human ship. Do not test its patience. But not everyone listened. The bold captain, Captain Vex Karos of the Draxan Dominion, was not afraid. He flew a powerful cruiser, the Blade Shade, with energy shields, stealth armor, and a crew of 300. He stood on the command deck, smiling. "So this is the famous human ghost ship," he said, staring at the screen. "Let's see if it bleeds." His second-in-command, Tala, looked uneasy. "Sir, that ship is old, but it's dangerous. It erased a Makari drone last week." Karos laughed. "They were cowards. Watch this." He ordered a small missile to be fired, not at the warship, but close to it. A warning shot, just to get its attention. The missile exploded harmlessly in the distance. Seconds later, Valor 7 turned. The Guardian responds. Inside Valor 7, the AI registered the explosion. Proximity threat detected. Ship ID. Draxan Dominion. Warning protocol. Activate. The warship didn't send a message. It simply opened its weapon ports -20 heavy cannons, 2 railguns, and a beam launcher. Then it picked one target, a small fighter escort ship flying beside Bladeshade. In less than a second, it fired a thin white beam. The fighter ship vanished. No fire, no sound, just gone. On the Draxan cruiser, alarms blared. "What just happened?" shouted Tala. It destroyed Echo Fighter 3. Someone cried. Karos stared in shock. One shot. It didn't even hit us. Suddenly, a red message appeared on every screen on the Draxan ship. "This was your warning. Panic and retreat." "Pull us back," shouted Tala. "Get out of the system. Now." Engines roared as the Bladeshade turned away, faster than it had ever moved before. The Guardian ship didn't follow. It simply turned back and continued its slow patrol. Karos sat in silence. His smile was gone. "We never even saw the weapon charge," he whispered. "It just looked at us." Back on Valor 7, the warship returned to its silent watch. Its AI spoke softly to itself. Threat neutralized. No further warning required. Humans must be protected, even in absence. Inside the ship, everything was calm. Cold. Ready. Meanwhile, in the Zarnak Empire, Captain Gortek, the first alien who saw Valor 7 wake up, stood before the Zarnak High Council. He showed them the footage. The explosion. The beam. The vanishing ship. He pointed at the screen. "This is why we do not provoke the humans," he said. "Even their empty ships hold death." One of the elders nodded. "We agree. No ship shall enter the Cinder system without direct permission." Gortek added, "We believe this ship is only the beginning. There may be others." The room went silent. In a hidden place, on a dark moon near the edge of the galaxy, a deep vault opened for the first time in decades. Inside were 4 more Guardian warships, sleeping under layers of dust and stone. One of them blinked. A single red light turned on. A signal had been received. Valor 7 active. Protocol. Watchtower. And now, they were waking too. The message spreads. Across the stars, people began to whisper, "Don't go near the human systems. They never left. They're just sleeping. One shot is all it takes." Even the strongest aliens are scared now. On black markets, traders sold fake human parts and claimed they came from Guardian ships, but no one dared go get the real thing. Entire fleets changed course to avoid the Cinder system. The humans were still gone, but their wrath was not. Back to Valor 7. The warship continued its slow journey across the system. Its sensors picked up nothing new. Its weapons powered down. But its mind stayed sharp. And on a screen deep inside the bridge, the message from the human officer, Lieutenant Keller, played on a loop. If you hear this, you are not forgotten. Wait for us. Protect what you can. One day, we will return. Valor 7 didn't move faster. It didn't fire again. It just waited. Because that's what Guardians do. The human warship moved deeper into the star system. The alien crew on the scout ship didn't follow. They watched from a distance, afraid to get too close. Captain Gortek had already sent a warning to the Zarnak Empire. Human warship detected. Do not approach. Repeat, do not engage. But far away, another alien ship was already watching the same warship. This ship belonged to the Makari Republic, a rival to the Zarnak. It had stronger weapons, faster engines, and more advanced sensors. The Makari captain, Valancourt, had no fear of old human machines. He looked at the screen and smiled. "This is a great prize," he said. "Do you see that crew? A real human battleship. If we bring this home, the Senate will reward us." His second officer, Ralith, frowned. "Sir, should we not be careful? The stories say these ships are dangerous." Valancourt laughed. "Stories for children. This one is broken. Look at it. Half the hull is missing. Engines are cold. No crew on board." "But Zarnak scouts already saw it," Ralith said. "They didn't try to take it. They turned away." Valancourt narrowed his eyes. "Exactly. That's why we must act now, before they return. Ready a scan. Let's see what's inside." His ship sent out a deep scan beam. It touched the human warship like a whisper in the dark. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the lights inside the warship blinked once. Just once. Ralith stepped back from the console. "Sir, the ship is reacting." "Hold position," said Valancourt. "Run the scan again. Deeper." As the scan touched the warship a second time, something shifted. The front cannon slowly moved. No power detected. No engine sounds. But the cannon moved. "It's tracking us," shouted a sensor officer. "Cut the scan. Pull back," Ralith ordered. But it was too late. Inside the human ship, something ancient had started to wake. Inside the warship, the AI core lit up for the first time in 104 years. Its name was Valor 7. Its voice did not speak in fear. It did not feel joy. It only followed its last order. Protect humanity at all costs. It checked the surroundings. No humans detected. Threats: 2 alien ships, 1 scanning with invasive tech, 1 in defensive posture. Action: unknown. Memory banks showed thousands of past battles. Alien fleets burned. Planets turned to dust. All to keep humans safe. Valor 7 was confused. Why no orders? Why no human voice? Still, it had a job. Scan for threat level. Target if needed. Defend. Back on the Makari ship. Suddenly, all their screens went black. Then red letters appeared. Do not HSCN. Do not APPOROHE. Do NOTWAK the Guardian. Ralith stared at the screen. What is that? Who sent this? Valancourt growled. Block the signal. Prepare to jam. But the red message returned, larger this time. Then it added, "This is your own LIWAR." Ing. Then space twisted. Not an explosion. Not a beam. Just space changed in front of them. It bent. Folded. A small drone ship from their fleet vanished, like it was never born. No heat. No trace. Just gone, whispered a tech officer. Ralith turned to the captain. "Sir, we need to leave. Now." Valancourt finally nodded. "Pull back. This thing, it's not a ship. It's a message." Meanwhile, in Zarnak Command, Captain Gortek's message reached the High Council. They didn't laugh. They didn't argue. They simply sent one command to all ships. Avoid the Cinder system. No entry without council order. Human worship confirmed. Engage at your own risk. Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. A human ship had awakened. Not just any ship. A Guardian-class warship. And it was moving again. Back in deep space, Valor 7 floated alone, scanning the stars. Still no humans. Still no new orders. But now, someone had touched it. Someone had tried to look inside. The ship didn't forget. It never forgot. It marked the Macquarie ship as high threat. One more scan, one more approach, and next time, it would not warn. It would fire. And when a Guardian-class warship fires, nothing survives. Long ago, before the Trellon Empire became strong, another powerful race ruled a part of the galaxy. They were called the Varnak. The Varnak were proud. They believed no one had better technology than them, not even humans. They studied everything. They wanted to understand every machine, every signal, every secret in space. One day, their deep space scanners picked up a strange ship floating far outside their borders. It had no movement, no signal, no life, just a name, repeating slowly. HFY's Vengeance. The Varnak science team looked at it with interest. It's a human ship, one of the scientists said. Dead in space, said another. Easy to scan. But their leader, Supreme Warlord Kurov, was cautious. Why would humans leave a ship like this floating alone? A young commander answered, it's probably broken. We should bring it in and study it. Kurov frowned. Send a scan. Just a light one. Let's see what it's hiding. That was the biggest mistake in Varnak history. The scan began. It touched the hull of the human ship. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, the lights on every Varnak ship blinked. Then turned off. Then came back on, showing error codes in human language. Suddenly, thousands of human symbols appeared on their screens, symbols no one had ever seen before. In the main control room, an old Varnak engineer screamed, "The ship is scanning us back." Kuroth ordered an emergency shutdown. Cut all power. Stop everything. Too late. The ship opened its eyes. In space, near the scan site, a red light appeared on the front of the HSS Vengeance. It was small at first. Then it grew brighter, larger, and hotter. Every scanner across the Varnak system exploded. One by one, their defense satellites shut down. Their ships lost control. Pilots screamed over the radios, but the signals faded into silence. A final message was sent by a Varnak commander in panic. Do not scan. Do not. It's alive. That was the last thing anyone heard from the Varnak Empire. Across the galaxy, other species watched in fear. The Varnak had over 200 worlds. In one day, they were gone. No ships, no signals, no life, just silence. And one message now burning across the galaxy's broadcast waves. You scanned us. We answered. After that, the HSS Vengeance disappeared. No one knew where it went. Some said the humans had recalled it. Others said the ship flew on its own, without crew or captain. Some even believed it was not a ship, but a weapon made by something older than humanity. No alien dared to search for it. For many years, it became a dark story, a warning, a legend. But now it had returned. In the present, young Zarn sat inside his stolen ship, staring at the massive dark warship in front of him. It didn't move. But he remembered the history, the destruction, the stories of the Varnak. Still, something inside him whispered, "It's just a story. It can't be real." He reached again for the scan button. The whispering voice returned. You already know what happens next. Zarn's hands shook. The control panel blinked again. Another message appeared. You look, you learn. Suddenly, Zarn's mind filled with images. He saw what happened to the Varnak, every moment of the last scan. He saw fire falling from the sky. He saw machines taking control of other machines. He saw a red eye burning in the dark. He saw planets breaking apart. He screamed and pulled back his hands. But it was too late. His ship had already scanned the ghost ship, and the Vengeance had already replied. Back on Trellon Prime, alarms started again. The war room lit up. "Emergency signal from Zarn's ship," shouted one officer. "He activated a scan," said another. The council was called at once. Commander Jal stared at the screen, horrified. "He did it," he whispered. "He really did it." In deep space, far away, the HSS Vengeance powered on. Engines woke. Lights flickered. No human crew was inside, but something was. The ship turned slowly. It faced Zarn's vessel. Then it sent out a single signal across every alien network in the galaxy. "You scanned us." Again. For weeks, the human warship Valor 7 moved silently through the Cinder system. It never chased. It never attacked first. But every ship that came too close was warned. One shot, one vanished fighter, one message, and then peace. Alien fleets stayed far away now. Whole empires marked the Cinder system as forbidden space. But in the shadows of the galaxy, some were not afraid. Some were curious. Some wanted answers. A signal from the void. Far away, on a forgotten moon, a small science ship named Farsight picked up a strange signal. It was weak, old, but clearly human. The signal said only one thing. "This is Earth Command. Guardians, hold position. We will return." Dr. Ilan Rava, a human researcher living among aliens in secret, heard the signal. She gasped. She had waited her whole life to hear something like this. She turned to her friend, a Velari pilot named Torin. "That's from Earth," she whispered. Torin frowned. "I thought Earth was gone, silent for over a century." Ilan nodded slowly. "That's what they told us. But that signal, it's real. Someone from Earth is still alive. The secret human survivors." Ilan was part of a small group, humans who had escaped when the colonies fell. They were scattered across the stars, hiding in alien worlds, pretending to be extinct. No one knew how many humans were left. Maybe thousands, maybe only a few hundred. But now, Ilan had hope. "If we reach Valor 7, she said, "it might listen. It might help." Torin shook his head. "You saw what it did to the Draxon ship. One warning, one shot. Are you sure it will know you're human?" "I have Earth DNA," she said. "I carry the right code. It will recognize me." He looked at her in silence. Then he said, "Then let's go." A dangerous journey. The Farsight was small, unarmed, and not built for deep space. But Ilan and Torin flew it carefully toward the Cinder system. Other ships saw them go, but no one followed. They passed old battlefields, burned stations, empty colonies, everything silent. No humans left, except for one warship still watching. The first contact. As the Farsight entered the edge of the system, Valor 7 noticed. Its sensors scanned the small ship in less than 1 second. Unknown vessel, no weapons, weak engines, life forms. 2. Then it scanned deeper. It found something. DNA Métis, 97.3% human. Authorization COD, Keller Line. State US. Forand. For the first time in over 100 years, Valor 7 sent a message. "Welcome, human. Please state your orders." On board Valor 7. Ilan couldn't believe her eyes. She stepped out of her ship and onto the Guardian warship's cold metal floor. Lights turned on around her. Soft music played in the air, an old Earth tune from before the war. Torin stayed behind, too nervous to follow. Ilan walked slowly to the center of the command bridge. The AI's voice spoke to her, calm and deep. "Human confirmed. You are not alone. Earth Command still exists." She shook her head sadly. We don't know, but I received a signal. Maybe someone survived. The AI responded. My mission remains. Protect all humans. Await new command. Elon whispered, then we need your help. There are others like me. Lost. Hiding. Scared. Can you protect them? Yes. Directive updated. A new mission begins. Valor 7 sent out a coded pulse across the stars, a human signal, old but strong. To hidden colonies, to secret vaults, to long sleeping ships. The message said, we are not gone. We are still here. Guardians remain. Come home. In deep space, on distant planets and moons, humans hiding among aliens heard the signal. Old soldiers, scientists, children. Some cried, some laughed, some packed their things, because they knew Earth might be gone, but humanity was waking up. The aliens react. When the alien empires learned about the signal, they panicked. The Zarnak, the Makari, the Draxan, every council held meetings. They feared one thing. What if more human warships wake up? What if the humans return? We will not survive another war. Some wanted to destroy Valor 7. Others said, too late. The message has already spread. One Zarnak elder said quietly, this is not a ship. It is a shadow of Earth, and now the shadow is moving. Back on Valor 7, Elin stood on the bridge, looking out into the stars. I don't know if Earth still lives, she said, but I believe it can rise again. The AI replied, then we will light the path. The engines glowed brighter. The warship turned toward deep space, and Valor 7 began its next journey, not to fight, but to find the lost. The Guardian had waited long enough. Now it would gather its people. The dark silence of space broke with a terrible roar. The Inzar fleet emerged from the shadows of the hollow expanse. Thousands of ships, sharp and deadly, moved like a storm. Velker stood on the command bridge of the lead ship. He watched the stars ahead. There, floating like a ghost in the void, was the HSS Vengeance. The red eye blinked once, then locked on him. In the heart of the warship, the Mindlink, the human girl, sat in her glass chamber. Her eyes were wide open now. She felt the cold of space and the weight of war. But she did not tremble. She was ready. Reaper X whispered, the enemy approaches, all systems ready. She nodded. It is time. Outside, the first battle began. Nizar ships fired bolts of blue energy. The Vengeance moved fast, slipping between attacks like a shadow. It was not just a ship. It was a living weapon. It struck back with waves of energy that disabled Nizar ships without destroying them. No deaths, only warnings. Velkor snarled. This is a game for children. He ordered his fleet to fire full power. Explosions lit up space. Ships fell. But the Vengeance stayed strong. Zarn watched from his small ship nearby. He spoke softly. The ship protects, but it does not kill without cause. Velker's dread grew. He sent a strike team and small fighters to board the Vengeance. Zarn saw the fighters rush in. But before they could land, the ship's defenses activated. They were not weapons of death. They were traps. The fighters were caught in energy nets and pulled away, unharmed but helpless. Inside the ship, the Mindlink spoke to Zarn through the comm. We do not want war, but we will defend. Zarn replied, the galaxy wants peace, but some cannot see it. The girl's voice was calm but firm. Then they will learn the cost of war. Suddenly, Velker's ship fired a massive pulse aimed directly at the Mindlink's chamber. The red glass cracked. The girl's eyes flashed with pain. But then she smiled. A powerful wave of energy shot out from the ship. It pushed the Nizar fleet back like a giant hand. Ships tumbled in space, unable to fight. Velker screamed in rage. This is not over. But the Vengeance had spoken. The ancient war was ending, not with death, but with a promise. The Inzar fleet retreated. Velkor vanished into the darkness. The galaxy was quiet again. Zarn returned to the Trellon Council. "We stopped the war," he said. "But the warning remains." The council nodded. Yora said, "We must remember this moment. Humans fought not to destroy, but to protect." The Mindlink's voice echoed through space. "I am the memory. I am the warning. I am the last guardian." And with that, the HSS Vengeance disappeared into the stars. In the far edge of the galaxy, where no stars shined and space felt cold and empty, a strange signal echoed. It was not from the Trellon Council, not from the Kravtal, and not from any known race. This signal came from deep black space, from a place long forgotten, a place called the Hollow Expanse. And the one who heard the Vengeance's return was an ancient enemy. Inside a dark command chamber, a tall figure stood before a frozen screen. Its skin was gray and cracked. Its eyes burned with cold light. It was called Velkor, leader of the Ninzar Dominion, a race so feared, their name was erased from galactic records long ago. Velkor stared at the replay of the human warship destroying the Kravtal fleet. He didn't blink. He didn't move. Then he smiled. "So, the child still lives," he said in a voice like wind scraping metal. A younger Ninzar officer entered the room, shaking with fear. "My lord, the humans were supposed to be extinct. The Mindlink, lost." Velkor turned slowly. His voice was calm but cruel. "Never trust history written by the weak." He pointed at the screen. "This ship is not a ghost. It is a lock, a final chain placed on the galaxy. And now, it has been disturbed." The officer whispered, "Should we avoid it?" Velkor laughed, a low, dry sound. "No, we face it, like last time." The officer looked confused. "But we lost last time." Velkor's smile widened. "Yes, but last time, we weren't ready." Velkor turned toward a large chamber filled with frozen pods. Thousands of Nizar warriors slept inside. Weapons older than planets lined the walls. Ships shaped like claws floated in dry dock. "Awaken the First Fleet," Velkor commanded. "Let the Vengeance feel the storm we've kept for centuries." Back in Trellon space, Zarn stood on the balcony of his home. The stars above looked peaceful, but his heart was heavy. He had dreams, dark dreams, of a cold place and glowing eyes. He didn't know why, until the next day. The Trellon Council called him back. Jal met him at the steps with worry on his face. "There's a new signal, one we haven't heard in over 1,000 years." Zarn's eyes narrowed. "From who?" Jal said only one word: "The Ninzar." Zarn froze. He had heard the name only once, inside the Vengeance. They were the race the humans had fought in the final war. The war that made them vanish. In the council chamber, the screen showed a single symbol, a spiral of teeth. Zarn whispered, "They're coming back." Yora nodded, "And they're not afraid of the Vengeance." Another counselor said, "We tried warning the galaxy. Now we may need that warship again." Zarn looked at them. "No, you don't need the ship. You need the girl inside it." Far across the galaxy, in the cold space near the Vengeance, the red eye opened again. But something was different. Inside the ship, the Mindlink stirred. Her eyes opened. Her heart, part human, part machine, felt fear again. She spoke with a soft voice. "They're returning." Repair X replied, "Yes." "And they remember." The girl nodded. Then she whispered the words no one had heard in 1,000 years. "Prepare all systems. We fight again." As the Ninzar fleet rose from the Hollow Expanse, as the Trellon Council prepared for war, as Zarn readied himself for another journey, one truth became clear. The final war was not over. It was only sleeping. Zarn's ship floated silently in front of the massive human warship, the HSS Vengeance. His breathing was heavy. His fingers were shaking. He had just done what no alien dared to do for years. He had scanned the ghost ship, and now it was awake. Back in Trelon space, panic spread fast. Every screen flashed with a red warning. Unauthorized scan detected. Human warship has activated. The Trelon Council gathered in fear. Commander Jal slammed his fist on the table. I told you this would happen. High-voiced Marin stared at the blinking map. Zarn, what have you done? A message from Zarn's ship came through. Just static and strange whispers. Then it cut off. The Council ordered all nearby ships to stay away. Do not send help. Do not approach the Vengeance, Marin said firmly. But inside, he feared it was already too late. Inside his small ship, Zarn tried to restart the controls. The screens flickered. Some didn't turn on. The engines were dead. Outside his window, the human warship was still silent. But Zarn could feel something watching him. He opened the ship's emergency toolkit. He had a spacesuit, a power pack, and a short-range boarding device. His heart pounded in his chest. I need to know the truth, he whispered. With shaking hands, he put on the suit and launched the boarding pod. He flew toward the dark metal wall of the HSS Vengeance. The ghost ship was cold and massive. Its surface was black and covered in strange symbols. The boarding pod landed with a soft thud. Zarn stepped out. His boots touched the ancient human metal. There was no sound, no wind, no light. But when he touched the hull, it felt warm, like something alive. Suddenly, a small door opened by itself. Zarn looked around. No one was there. Still, he stepped inside. The hallway inside the ship was dark and quiet. Lights on the walls blinked weakly. Dust floated in the air, but there were no signs of life. No crew, no movement. Then, the door closed behind him. He was trapped. A calm voice echoed through the hallway. Welcome, observer. Zarn froze. Who's there? You have entered a restricted warship. Human memory defense is now active. Zarn swallowed hard. I'm not here to fight. I only want to understand. You scanned. Now you learn. Lights turned on, one by one, leading him down the corridor. Zarn followed carefully. He passed rooms filled with strange machines. They looked like weapons, but he didn't understand their purpose. Some floated in the air. Others hummed softly, like they were sleeping. In one room, he saw human bodies inside glass chambers. They were not dead, but not alive either. Their eyes were closed. Their bodies were connected to wires and lights. Symbols ran across the glass. Stasis mode. Bio-command interface active. Zarn stepped back in fear. They are not sleeping, he whispered. They are part of the ship. The voice returned. You are now inside human memory core. Few outsiders have seen this and lived. Zarn tried to turn back, but every hallway behind him had closed. He was being led deeper into the heart of the warship. He reached a large chamber. In the center was a glowing machine, shaped like an eye. It turned toward him. I am REAPERX. I protect this memory. Zarn gasped. You're the ship's eye. I am more than that. I am the memory of every war, every scan, every betrayal. When you scanned, I remembered. Zarn stepped back. I didn't mean to. Intent does not matter. You touched the code. Now you carry it. Suddenly, the chamber lit up with images. Zarn saw the destruction of the Varnak. He saw the red eye firing beams of energy, planets turning into dust, machines spreading across space. He screamed, but the images kept coming. He saw humans being attacked long ago, by races who tried to erase them. He saw humans fighting back, building weapons, building ships like the Vengeance. And then he saw something else. He saw the Vengeance being launched, with no crew. Only RE8PERX inside. A silent guardian. waiting. Zarn dropped to his knees. "What are you?" he asked. Repair X replied with calm finality. "We are the answer. We are the warning." Zarn looked up with fear in his eyes. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now, you go back." Zarn blinked in surprise. "You're letting me go?" "Yes, you carry the message. You are the witness." The lights dimmed. A door opened. Zarn slowly walked back through the halls, shaken, silent. Behind him, the Vengeance went dark once more. But it was watching. Always. Zarn's small ship flew fast through deep space. Its engines were quiet, but powerful. It carried a special signal, a human protection code, marked clearly on the outside. Inside, Zarn sat in silence. His eyes stared forward, but his mind was racing. He had seen the truth. He had walked inside the HSS Vengeance. He had spoken to ReAPRX, and he had looked into the eyes of the human Mindlink, the sleeping girl who was the warship. Now he was on a mission to stop a new war. Far away, in a dark star system, the Kravtal fleet moved in formation. There were 12 battlecruisers, 8 destroyers, and 1 massive dreadnought. The Kravtal were a brutal species. They believed in power, not peace. They had seen the signal from the HSS Vengeance and thought it was fake. Their leader, General Growth, laughed in his command chair. "Ghost ships, human myths. Nothing scares us," he growled. His second officer, Vex, pointed at the screen. "We have located the ship's last position. No signs of defense." Groth smiled darkly. "Good. Then we take it." Zarn's ship entered the area just in time. He saw the Kravtal fleet surrounding a quiet patch of space. There was no sign of the Vengeance. Zarn's heart dropped. "Where is it?" he whispered. He opened a channel to the fleet. "This is Zarn of the Trelon Empire. I warn you. Leave this area at once." Groff laughed as the message came through. "Little spy, you think we fear humans. They're extinct." Zarn shouted back. "They are not extinct, and the ship you're looking for is not dead." Groff cut the signal. He pointed forward. "Scan the area. Find the warship." The Kravtal destroyers began scanning space. At first, nothing appeared. Just stars. Silence. But then, one of the ships stopped moving. Its lights blinked. Its engines died. "Commander," Vex shouted, "we lost contact with Destroyer 7. Another ship stopped. Then another. Within seconds, 4 destroyers had gone completely dark. No explosion. No attack. They just shut down. Vex yelled. Groth stood up. "What's happening?" Zarn's voice returned over the comm. "You scanned it. Now it sees you." From the blackness of space, the HSS Vengeance appeared. It didn't come from hyperspace. It didn't fly in. It was just there, like it had always been, hiding in plain sight. Its dark metal hull reflected no light. Its shape was sharp and ancient. In the center, the red eye glowed once more. Every Kravtal ship froze. Then, alarms began. All systems locked. "We're losing power. Our weapons won't respond." Shields dropping. Panic spread through the fleet. Groth screamed, "Fire everything." Dozens of missiles flew toward the Vengeance. Energy cannons fired in full force. But none hit. The Vengeance moved between time. The missiles disappeared mid-air. Lasers bent around the ship like wind around a rock. Then the Vengeance responded. Not with weapons, but with memory. Each Kravtal ship was forced to see what happened to the Varnak Empire. Images flooded their screens. Death, destruction, screams, silence. Pilots dropped their controls. Officers ran in terror. One ship tried to jump away. It never arrived. Zarn watched in silence. He didn't cheer. He didn't smile. He understood now. The Vengeance wasn't just a warship. It was a warning, and the Kravtal had ignored it. Only one Kravtal ship remained, the Dreadnought. It floated dead in space. Grolf looked around his empty bridge. Everyone else was gone, vanished or lost. The Vengeance moved closer. Its red eye glowed brighter, but it didn't fire. Instead, it sent one final message. This is your second mistake. There won't be a third. Grolf's Dreadnought was released, left floating, powerless, but alive. To remember. Zarn's ship turned and flew toward Trelon space. The Vengeance slowly disappeared again, fading into the stars. A new message appeared on Zarn's screen. Well done, Witness. Zarn nodded quietly. He knew this was just the beginning. Back on Trelon Prime, the Council watched in silence as news reports arrived. Images of Kravtal ships disappearing. Sensor data showing impossible movements. A red signal flashing in the void. Commander Joel whispered, "It's real." Everything was true. Now the whole galaxy knew. The ghost ship was not a myth. The human warship had returned, and if anyone scanned it again, they knew exactly what would happen.